the TV queen and then experimenting with a lot of roles on OTT, Mona Singh is now a 100 crore film owner.
Owner, okay.
She owns a 100 crore film. Mona, how does it feel?
It's a big milestone, yeah. It just feels very, very motivating and encouraging to continue to do the kind of work that I'm doing. Yeah. It's an unprecedented success. Matlab, you know, in these times, jab dar lagta hai producers ko to release their films, not knowing what is going to happen, everything is just so unpredictable. People have been thinking ki acha theatre mein aayi hai to OTT mein aa jayegi, we'll go watch. It's very difficult to get audience to theatres nowadays. And the kind of response Munjya got was just unbelievable, unfathomable. मतलब मुझे पता था कि अच्छी movie है, entertaining है, बच्चे देखेंगे. But to get this kind of love, my God, I just feel very, very happy and yeah, and proud.
Yeah, and everyone calls Munjya a sleeper hit because not many actually expected it to do so well.
So well.
Yes, but Mona, when that film came to you, when you signed it up, what was your thought behind it and why did you choose that film?
See, I chose the film because of the story. It was so different.
Yeah.
I had never heard of a folklore like Munjya. You know, I mean, I've lived in Maharashtra most of the times. I've lived in Pune, Bombay, but ये कभी सुना ही नहीं Konkan की story. So I met our director Aditya Sarpotdar, and at that time I was holidaying in Pune with my family. So we happened to meet, and he's also a Pune guy. So we were discussing our own, you know, old college days, ye wo, Pune. And then he started narrating the script to me. I was like, what are you saying? Ye hota hai, ye Munjya. And he's like, yeah. And we're also creating a CGI actor for the first time in India and exploring a whole new genre.
Absolutely.
So I was really intrigued. तो मुझे लगा अभी तक horror comedy की नहीं है, so might as well, you know, give this also a try.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I said yes.
Amazing. But a lot of people felt that your role was a little short one. As an actor, do you also kind of consider कि यार screen presence कितना होगा? Does that thought come?
See, eventually movies में scenes कट जाते हैं कभी कभार, you know, and मेरे साथ भी ये हुआ है. I experienced it when I saw Munjya. So it happens to make the movie shorter, crisper, you know. तो but वही है that in your skill and your quality as an actor to shine in the limited screen time.
Absolutely.
You know, because that's what films are all about. OTT is more nuanced and because of its nature you get more screen time. वो फिल्मों में नहीं हो पाता है. So it happens, and I like the fact that people say कि यार I wish we saw more of you. It's a good compliment.
Absolutely. And tell me, what was the experience like? Of course, as you rightly mentioned, horror comedy कभी किया नहीं है. वो punchlines और different हो जाते because you have to also have that horror element in place. So tell me about that experience.
There was a lot of unlearning for me to do. So I come from a very subtle, real zone, and Aditya was like, नहीं, इतना subtle नहीं, भूत है सामने. So I was like, okay, I get your point. Of course, we're not seeing the booth right now because it was mostly green screen, and we had to imagine.
Yes, that's another challenge.
It's tough. It's very tough.
Absolutely.
It's not easy because what you are imagining and what you will eventually see on screen will be totally different.
Absolutely.
So everything comes together when, you know, music and editing and everything's done. But otherwise you're just acting in a film जहाँ पे बाद में काम होगा. So it's not easy. तो आदित्य भी बोलता था नहीं not subtle, थोड़ा और. I was like, okay, I'll pump it up. So also doing comedy for the first time. So though I'm considered a joker in the family, I'm the usual entertainer, always cracking jokes and entertaining people. But trying comedy on screen was new to me, and I loved it. I loved it. I want to do more of it now.
Amazing. But tell me, Mona, after all these years, like, what's your process when you pick up project? Like, what are your tick boxes that you have?
See, it has to make me go, wow. You know, it has to move me. It has to have that impact where I get some sleepless nights thinking about the character, that how the hell will I do this? You know, so if that doesn't happen, I don't say yes.
Wow.
So I think it's very intuitive.
Yeah. And do you say no more than yes?
Yes. I think it's so important. I don't
Yeah.
want to carry a baggage of saying yes and then, you know, going to a set and being unhappy, because that's not
Absolutely.
fair to me or the makers.
Yeah.
So might as well get out of it and say no.
Yeah, but tell me, what are your aspirations? Like, what are the kind of roles that you now want to maybe experiment? Of course, you spoke about comedy, but what are the other things that you have in mind?
There's so much. There's so much for a woman to do at my age
Yeah.
now with OTT and movies. You know, the stories and storytelling has changed. You know,
Absolutely.
it's evolved, and it pushes an actor to the very limit. So I want to do something which pushes me out and which challenges me,
Yeah.
gives me sleepless nights. I want to play a cop. I want to do some action. I want to do all different genres. I'm hungry for more.
Yeah. Any recent performances of any other actor that you've seen and you were like, wow, this is the kind of work that I want to do?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many shows. To pinpoint one, I think my favorite being Aranyak, what Raveena
Oh,
Tandon did.
yes.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so different. बाकी सब तो हम देखे होते हैं, you know, वो मिली जुली कुछ कहानी बन जाती है and they give it a different twist. But Aranyak was really good, and I was
Yeah.
hoping कि this is what I want to do.
Amazing. Also, tell me, Mona, you kind of stepped into OTT, like you were one of the first lot
Yes.
who actually ventured into OTT. What were your thoughts when you picked that medium, and were there any kind of apprehensions? Because, of course, that projects were also very new, very bold.
Yes, yes. See, the thing is, Sana, I wanted to take a break from TV because I really had exhausted myself. And there was nothing more for TV to offer. So I had hosted, I had participated, done, you know, daily soaps. So for me to try something new was definitely OTT. I was watching a lot of content on YouTube because of TVF.
Yes.
Because TVF were the first makers, you know, who introduced OTT
Absolutely.
to us. So I was a big fan of Tripling and Permanent Roommates. So they offered me Ye Meri Family. I was like, yeah, ye to matlab calling ho gayi. So I instantly said yes. I loved the script.
Yeah.
It was full nostalgia. And the way it was appreciated, loved by people, I somewhere knew that this is the new change that people are going to witness. And I think gradually I should also, you know, start
Yeah.
moving towards OTT.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the shift happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And tell me, how does Mona Singh kind of deals with successes and failures? How is that dynamic like?
You see, I've seen it almost, I've seen it all in
Yes.
20 years. What I've learned is over these years is that not success, not failure, nothing is permanent.
Okay.
One has to just stay persistent and maybe keep taking their chances to stay relevant with
Yeah.
changing times, and that's what I've been exploring.
Yeah. But when something that you've given you how doesn't work out, like what do you do? Like take a break?
I take a
chutti?
break.
Yeah.
I take a break. But अगर break नहीं मिल रही है, and if I'm going to another set, I consider that very, very fortunate.
Oh, wow.
Because you stop thinking about
Yes.
it and you're busy doing something else creatively.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Recently, Mona, you spoke about how a lot of work came to you after Laal Singh. Everyone saw that work and gave great projects to you. But tell me, how was life after Jassi? Like, was there a sea of ocean of projects that came your way?
Yes, there were so many
Yes.
daily soaps, but I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था personally that there cannot be anything bigger than Jassi at this point of time. So abhi to jump into another daily soap and be greedy,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to try something else and people to know me. So that was the time when Sony signed me on exclusively and I got Jhalak Dikhla Ja.
Absolutely.
तो participate किया, dance किया, सीखा, जीत लिया. And then they offered me to host the show. So I was like, you know, I cannot be the conventional host. I cannot be formal and, you know, do all that la-di-da stuff. I was like, let me be me. Let me be the Punjaban that I am and have fun. They're like, go for it.
Amazing.
And people enjoyed that flavor, you know. So I think that was the time people started seeing me in a different light. And then I took up another daily soap.
Yeah. But do you think a show like Jassi could be made today and would people accept it?
Yeah, why not?
Oh.
Because the problems are still the same. The society is still the same. We are dealing with the same issues. Maybe it can be, you know, put in a new, different box and give it a whole new twist. But yeah, I'm sure it'll work again.
Yeah. But would you do it if a project like Jassi would have come to you? Now? Yes.
To play the same
Yeah. A show like Jassi, basically.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I don't know. Pata nahi. If it comes, I'll see.
Yes. Also, Mona, when of course Three Idiots came to you, you were the heroine of television. You were the lead actress.
Yes.
To pick a part that's important in a film, but a part of the film. What were your thoughts when you picked that up, and how does an actor think this way, that you're not the lead, like from television, being the lead, being the face, shouldering a show, to doing a character role? How does that change comes in?
I think one has to take the leap of faith. You know, one has to be confident about yourself, know your worth, and take your chances. I always have taken my chances. I have always explored. You know, मैंने कभी ये नहीं बोला that, oh, I want to look my age, and oh, I don't want kids, and I want to look pretty. No, I've always chosen the unconventional path, and I've been very, very happy about all my choices. You know, and Three Idiots was the biggest blockbuster, you know, and my first movie. So how can I, you know, ever regret that decision? Never.
Yeah.
So I think it's not just the main protagonist who adds value, it's also the characters who, you know, add so much value to a script.
Yeah, but how do you feel in a set like a Three Idiots, coming from television, a newcomer on the film set? What was that experience like?
It was mesmerizing. I was intimidated. I was looking at everybody. I was like, "Kya karu main? Will I be able to act in front of them?" But then, you know, they made everything so easy for me that we all were working with ease. Aamir sir, Madhavan, Sharman, Kareena, all of them were like so humble, sweet, and graceful. You know, holding my hand and telling me कि अच्छा अब यहाँ का ये करते हैं. And I, coming from TV, I was like, why are you rehearsing so many times? They're like, Mona, this is a movie. TV में rehearsals ही नहीं होती हैं यार, because there's no time.
Absolutely.
So I was learning on the go. I was like, अच्छा. Then I would tell Raju sir, I was like, why are you not shooting? We've been sitting for 8 hours. He's like, Mona, मूवी में 1 या 2 ही सीन होंगे. I was like, अच्छा. He's like, हाँ, ये next year आएगी, बहुत time है. I was like, okay. And then I started understanding the pace of filmmaking. And it is so good.
Absolutely.
It depends on film to film, project to project, depending on the kind of, you know, scale the project has. So yeah, you have that time free, and you need to do something creative in that time, otherwise you'll go mad. Because there's an old saying, actors act for free, they get paid to wait.
Oh wow.
They do, because there is a lot of waiting when it comes to films.
Yeah. But that transition from TV to films, was that difficult for you? Because we've heard a lot of horror stories of actors saying that when they move to films from television, they're not taken seriously. People say कि आपको रोज free में देख लेते हैं, film में कौन देखेगा? So what were your challenges like?
I never thought like that. That wasn't in my head at that time, and I also never considered myself to be an outsider. मुझे बस यही लग रहा था कि I am here, I am living my dream. You know, I am getting to go to different sets and act. That is what I wanted to do. So I never really concentrated much just to do films and to take a break from TV. इसीलिए मैंने फिल्में बहुत कम की हैं. I think now I am striking that balance between, you know, cinema and OTT. But at the time of TV, मुझे तो time ही नहीं मिलता था to do anything else. So there were a lot of good films which came my way, but unfortunately I couldn't do it because I was, you know, contractually bound, and I didn't want to leave anything in bad taste and do a film. Industry बहुत छोटी है. So I finished all my commitments and then moved to films.
In not dropping any names, what were the projects?
No, can't. Can't.
But tell me, what do you miss about television?
What do I miss about television? Nothing really. I've lived that life for good 10, 12 years.
Absolutely.
I have. So there's nothing really to miss, but I cherish those days. मजा आता था जब बोलते थे अरे कल का telecast है अभी shoot करना है. So it was crazy. It's a lot of pressure, you know, especially the protagonist. You're there in every scene. There's so much to do. You don't get a break. Whether you're ill or going through anything, you have to report to set and you have to shoot. तो हमारे लिए तो डॉक्टर होता था on call, हमको वो लगती थी drips because time ही नहीं मिलता था. So it's not easy. It's not easy. And I remember a lot of people telling me that, oh, after Jassi, everything for you will be a cakewalk because you've experienced the absolute torture. I was like, okay, we'll figure. And it is true. It is true. TV is very, very hectic.
Yeah. And Mona, every actor kind of, we've all seen that they evolve with time. Of course, they grow as actors. Tell me about your experience on, of course, Three Idiots and then Laal Singh, because both your co-actors were the same. Yes. So how was that feel like?
you know, we all change as individuals, and then of course as actors in front of the camera, because you've seen so much, you've traveled the world, you've met so many people, there's so many experiences you have personally, so yeah, you change, you evolve. So bonding apni wahi thi, we all were, you know, cherishing those 3 Idiot days and stuff. मस्ती भी हम वही कर रहे थे, but the way we were acting, the way we were with each other, and as human beings, there was a stark difference in all of us. And I think that's a very good thing to do, because we should evolve with time, change with times.
And everyone's also talking about the transformation that we've seen. Like you looking at least 15 years younger.
Oh, thank you. And I've lost 15 kgs.
Wow, see, exact numbers. What motivates one to kind of get into that fitness regime, because it's not easy.
It is not easy. You choose your struggles wisely, because nothing in life is easy anyway. So it is very easy to sit in bed and eat a packet of chips and say, oh, I wish I could get that body. You can't wish for such things to happen. You have to get up and do something about it. तो मेरे ऐसे बहुत सारे New Year resolutions गए हैं, बहुत सारे Mondays गए हैं जहाँ पे I promised myself कि oh, from Monday आज से मेरा शुरू. And then by evening you give up and you indulge. But this time I was approached for a role because they wanted me to look a certain way. So I had to lose weight. And I think in the process of losing weight and practicing yoga and meditation and eating right, being mindful about my choices, I continued to practice, you know. And I feel so good about myself now. क्योंकि पहले मुझे लगता था, oh shit, when will I wear this and when will I look like that? Not that I'm saying कि being thin is everything, but it's a great achievement to be fit. You know, and now that I've achieved that, I want to continue. Maintaining is the toughest part, and I have been able to maintain over a year, and I hope to continue. मुझे अभी when we had gone for a vacation, I was telling my husband Sham, I was like, I hope I don't indulge in desserts and food and put on weight. He's like, don't psych yourself. वापस जाके शुरू कर लेना. I was like, हाँ, okay. So we were chilling and eating.
But tell me, Mona, how important is it for actors to be a certain size? Because always people do also talk about how everyone's thin right now in the industry. So tell me about it, because that also comes as a criticism for the industry that they are all kind of promoting a certain size. But what's your take on that?
See, I have never promoted a certain size. I have never encouraged zero figure and all of that, or to have a six-pack ab and go in front of the camera. No, if you're talented, you will be noticed. You won't get noticed because of your body and the way you look for years. You won't. Maybe once you will. So I think मेरे लिए what has happened now is because my knee was giving up on me, my shoulder, I had an injury during Kala Pani, so I had to take care of myself. So I started practicing yoga to look after my shoulder, my knee, and in the process I also lost weight, started feeling good about myself. There was a different kind of confidence that, you know, I had. I was experimenting with fashion, clothes. So मुझे मजा आया. But what has changed for me is also the choice of roles that I'm getting now. People want to see me in a uniform. You know, people are asking me कि अगर मैं fight scene करना चाहूँगी. Then I just finished a series called Makasam, where she's the hot mummy. You know, she's in dresses and skirts and she's the chic, fashionable mummy, which I never have been. मैं हमेशा सूट में ही रही हूँ. तो मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छा shift हो रहा है. But otherwise, I have never really encouraged vanity as such. It's good to look after yourself.
Absolutely. Also, we were talking about how today we have roles for women above 40.
40, yes.
Tell me about your fears when you were kind of nearing 40 and you were like, shit, ab काम मिलेगा कि नहीं? Has that happened, Mona?
वो 30s में हुआ था मेरे साथ. You know, there was this gap in between जब मैं TV नहीं कर रही थी and I took to theatre because मुझे TV नहीं करना था. So I was like, how do I challenge myself now as an actor? What more to do? So I started experimenting with theatre, but otherwise there was this lull. And I was thinking maybe because I'm 34, 35, मुझे काम नहीं मिल रहा है. Is that really happening? And then 2017, it just kicked off, and I was like, okay, chalo. You know, there's much more to do. And now with, stories and storytelling, because they have changed, they're getting bolder, they're getting more creative. There's so much for a woman to do. There's more court to play, and there are more characters to play. She's not just black or white. She's much more in between.
Yes. So tell me one thing. We'll just one thing basically. So
Okay.
one thing about life that no one told you about. What we kind of learn from with experience.
That no one told me about.
Yeah.
See, life is unpredictable and we should be ready for any challenge.
Okay.
आज जैसा है वो कल नहीं होगा. No day is the same.
Okay.
So yeah.
One thing about growing up that no one told you about.
That don't be in a hurry to grow up.
Oh.
You know, just calm down, relax, enjoy your youth. You know, play a little more.
One thing about the industry that no one told you about.
It's unpredictable. It is very unpredictable and it is scary.
Yeah.
Because it's not a 9 to 5 daily job that you have. Sometimes you got to wait it out for months, and that wait can be frustrating.
Yeah. One thing about fame that no one told you about.
It's temporary.
One thing about friendship relationships that no one told you about.
You got to work on every relationship, whether that's friendship or your personal relationship with your husband, your parents, your sister. You got to work on it actively. If you don't, you know, things fade away.
Yeah. One thing about marriage that no one told you about.
Marriage that no one told me about. Well, everybody told me, शादी वो लड्डू है जो खाए वो पछता है जो ना खाए वो पछता है. So I was told.
Lastly, one thing about social media that no one told you about.
That it is going to get so crazy. Casting and everything is going to be dependent on your followers. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
These times are crazy.
Has
So
that happened with you, where people have kind of...
no, not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Because you see,
You have
I've been around
yes.
for so many years.
Absolutely.
But now, you know, my team, my manager, they all tell me, "Arey, why aren't you posting? Post." So yes, I take the pressure sometimes to post.
What's next, Mona? Of course, Ma Kasam is happening, but what other...
I wrapped Ma Kasam. Pan Parda Zarda,
Yeah.
3-4 days are left to shoot. And other than that, I have another movie coming out soon. And there are 4 more shows ready to be released. So yeah, there's a lot
So we're going
on
to
the
see a lot of
horizon.
Mona.
Yeah, I'm very excited for all the releases because every role is very different
Yes.
from one another. And I'm also starting shoot from September. So something very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret.
Secret.